Why do the heaviest seasons in life seem to come when you're finally starting to grow? Why is it that right when you think you've arrived, God adds weight? What if I told you that wasn't by accident? That pressure was a part of the plan, discomfort was divine, and the same principle we use to build our body, God uses it to build men.
Yeah, we about to grind, we about to lift. Yeah, we about to shine, we about to lift. Yeah, we about to grind, we about to lift. Yeah, we about to shine, we about to lift. Yeah, we about to grind.
Welcome to Preacher Curls. I'm your coach, Marvin Ke'Onn. This is the channel where we build up the body and break down the belief system behind it. Let me ask you a question. You ever felt like you were doing everything right in the gym, in your mindset, and walk with God, but you still weren't seeing any progress? If that's you, today's episode is for you. Because we're talking about something called progressive overload. Not just in training, but in transformation. And by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how the principle works in your workouts and how God uses the very same process to shape your purpose. So grab your Bible or some dumbbells and let's get to work. So progressive overload, let's make it real simple. Progressive overload is just the gradual increase of stress on your body during training. That's it. It's how we grow, it's how we get stronger, and it's how we see real results. And you can apply it in a lot of different ways. You can lift heavier weights, you can increase your reps, you can add more sets, you can shorten your rest time, or you can just add more time under tension. And I've tried every single one of these techniques and they have never failed me. But here's what we have to realize. The body adapts. So if you're still lifting the same 20 pounds that you started with 6 months ago, and you're wondering why nothing's changing, it's not because you're lazy, but it is because the stimulus just isn't strong enough anymore. Growth requires challenge, and challenge requires discomfort. And consistency over time is what's gonna help lead to your transformation. I had a client once get discouraged because we couldn't add a full plate to every single one of their lifts. But I had to tell them, listen, start with the 5s. The 5 will lead you to the 10s. The 10s will lead you to the 25s. And soon enough, you will be able to add that plate. But your progress has to have some patience. Don't rush the overload. Respect the process. Because sometimes the heaviest part of the lift is not even the weight, but it's the waiting for the results to come through your progression. So let's connect this to your goals. Because whether you're trying to lose fat, whether you're trying to build muscle, maybe you just want to move pain-free, or you just want to feel good in your skin again, you need tension and you're going to need stress. And you need to respond to that stress with effort and consistency. Because without progressive overload, you will plateau. And it's not because you're not working hard, but it's because your body isn't being pushed to adapt. And that's where the mindset shift comes in. Because the goal isn't perfection, it's progression. It's one more rep, it's 1 more percent, it's one more I don't feel like it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And over time, that is how transformation happens. All right, so we're gonna switch gears a little bit because God uses progressive overload too, but he uses it on your spirit. So we're gonna go to Genesis 37 and we're gonna meet my man, Joseph. Joseph was a dreamer. He was favored by his father. Father gave him a robe of many colors. And I can relate to Joseph because I've always loved color and boldness and expression. It's part of how I like to show up in the world. But Joseph wasn't just fly. Joseph also had a vision. And like all of us with a vision, he had no idea what it was actually gonna cost. So before overload starts, you have to have a goal. You need a dream. Like, what is it you want to accomplish? Joseph had a dream of rising to leadership. And even though he didn't really understand it, he believed it. I remember when I was a manager at the Cheesecake Factory dreaming about training people in the gym full time. And now look, a few years later, and I'm living it. But just like Joseph, I had to go through some reps. So we're gonna break down Joseph's progressive overload set by set. So set 1, Joseph betrayed by his brothers. And if that wasn't bad enough, that led to set 2, where they thought, okay, well, maybe we shouldn't kill him, so let's sell him into slavery. And so if that went bad enough, then once he's enslaved to this guy named Potiphar, And his wife makes a move on Joseph, and because Joseph wasn't feeling it, she lies and falsely accuses him, and he gets thrown into prison, set free. And if things couldn't get worse, in prison, he meets two guys, and he's still using his God-given ability to interpret dreams, and using what God gave him. He interprets the dreams for both of these gentlemen, and all he asks of the gentleman is like, hey, once you get out, just remember me, bro. And set 4, what happens? As soon as he gets out, he forgets about my man Joseph for another 2 years. So what we see here is that in each stage, it added more resistance, it added more pain, and it added more pressure. But we can't miss this, it also added more preparation, because God was growing Joseph's capacity to carry the very dream that he gave him. Because if Joseph had gone straight to the throne, he would have crumbled under the weight of it. And look, let's keep it real for a second. This is what happens in the gym too. You ever see somebody that ego lifts? Like, it makes me cringe a little bit because they throwing all these plates on without earning it. And then what happens? They get hurt. But God doesn't ego lift. He progressively overloads you on purpose. In Genesis 5:20, we learn, you intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. So to me, this is why we train physically and spiritually, because resistance is a tool, and God uses it to build us, not break us. And let's talk about our core for a minute, because in fitness, we always say your core is your connector. It links your upper body and your lower body. It controls balance, and it's your foundation for real strength. But guess what? We've also have a spiritual core as well. And if the core of who you are, your mindset, your values, your faith isn't strong, life will fold you. That's why resistance matters. Because if there's no tension, there's no transformation. And when things get heavy, we can't run, we can't fold. We gotta learn to brace, stand firm, gotta pray a little harder. We may have to breathe deep, but we gotta hold the line. Because when the weight hits, that's when our real strength has to show up. So here's your goals for this week. In the gym, I need you to add a little bit more weight. I need you to do one more rep, maybe do one more set. Take another step towards whatever goals you have. And in your spirit, I want you to learn to embrace tension. Trust God's timing and let the resistance grow you, not break you. Because the pit isn't permanent, the pressure's not pointless, and the weight you're under might just be the strength that you've been praying for. This has been Preacher Curls. I'm Marvin Ke'Onn. If this message blessed you, drop a comment, send this to someone on a fight, hit that like button so we can keep building in spirit and strength. Until next time, my friends, stay faithful, stay lifted, stay grounded. Don't be good, be great. Peace.